It's the Archivist, y'all. Exclusively interviewing FINGAZ.
Straight up, yo, what up?
Straight up from the KOTD Western Canada battle match. Pigsty versus FINGAZ.
Mm-hmm.
And who is FINGAZ?
FINGAZ is a guy who was born in Toronto, born and raised in the West End, and then moved to the East End back and forth. He is a battle rapper who has been living in Calgary for the last 4 or 5 years and is now here giving y'all a straight interview with the Archivist about me and myself and I to say.
And tell us, back in Toronto, coming up, Freestyle Friday, back in the high schools.
Man, back when we were kids, I'll never forget it. This is like a monumental thing to me. I remember, and shout out to the guy that I'm talking about right now. His name was Rels back in the day, and like his name was Tyrell. We were together and like in school and like drama class and stuff here, and he comes out. And he was also a rapper, and I knew that. And I didn't rap very much around everybody, but some people did, right? Like they could show it off. I always kept quiet. And this Freestyle Friday thing came up, like with winning vouchers and so on and so forth. And I was like, yo, I'm on it. Like there's no way I can't get in on this. Like I got to. I've been doing this all this time. There's a reason for it. And this is when this Freestyle Friday kind of thing came up at school. It's like, this is why I've been writing. And I've been going around to parties and, you know, making fun of people back and forth. And I was always kind of witty, especially being the guy with no fingers. I always had to be witty about that. And pretty much when people would come out to me and attack me, I would always look at things ahead of time rather than they would look at the now, because I knew what they were going to come at me with. And when I looked at somebody, I never looked at somebody and been like, this is what I'm going to make fun of them. I'm like, what are they going to say about me? And then how can I incorporate that with making fun of them? Because that way it deads what they're saying and I'm making an advanced move at the same time. It's like playing chess, bro. You got to understand, this is not checkers. This is real shit. And so I got into it more and more, and then eventually I just started like noticing like I was doing good. Like I was doing good. And then so I get into this school at Freestyle Friday, and I get up there. This guy's coming at me about all like talking about everything, just like killing me off pretty much. And I stood there, and then I took it all in and sat back, and I started going at him about our neighborhood and how we both lived in the neighborhood, and he was wearing colors at the time, and it was just like something to do. So I threw that in, and just the cafeteria lit up. They couldn't believe it. And it's funny because like at the same time, like nobody was there for me, and they couldn't believe that I was even up there. It was against me at all odds, and I didn't expect to win, and I didn't at the same time. But I definitely just showed people what I was capable of, and showed people that first impression is nothing. Like as much as it is nowadays, you use it as a box. You don't use it as a building platform, because it'll throw you off, especially in stuff like this. You got guys, man, like I said, like coming out here from Van today, like you got guys like Rupert Common and stuff. You better watch out with people like that. Those motherfuckers are, you know, they're intelligent. They can work with you. You know, don't get it twisted. And that's why some people try and keep it real street and so on and so forth. But it's like, it's all about balance. Everything is about balance to me.
And share about the Toronto scene, and then doing a collaboration with Bishop Brigante.
No problem. The Toronto scene is definitely more advanced than anywhere in Canada, if you can say, like ahead, as in they're the trendsetters. And there's definitely other places that do, but at the same time, population plays a role, location, all that. And just coming from Toronto and then moving out to the West, I realized Eastern and Western mentality is a totally different thing. Like it's crazy. And I moved out here and started getting into KOTD and battle rap and everything like that. And a friend of mine was with Newell, and he said that Bishop was coming out. So when Bishop came out, we hit him up. He was at the radio station, and I rolled up actually in my 6'4", and then met Newell there, and it was funny because Bishop comes out and he's like, "This is how you guys are rolling?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, this is what's up, you know?" And he's like, "Let's go." So he hopped in, we all just dropped bars, and he's like, "Let's hit a studio immediately." And we're like, "For sure, we're down with that." So we took him to the studio, and he killed that track by all means too. Like his verse, the mood ring shit, I love that shit. But it was neat. definitely, it was kind of surreal too, noticing like I keep it pretty humble. Like back in the day, I wasn't too much of a humble guy. Coming from Toronto, I'm to Toronto for my own good sometimes, you know. But like coming out to the West, it's a total different mentality. The way I look at it on the East is like, if I don't know you, go fuck yourself. And out here, it's like, if I don't know you, I don't have a problem until you do me wrong. And I kind of have that in me as well. And like living out here, I enjoy it, right? But coming down to battle rap, I think that's where I kind of I be able to step it up here and there, because I have that side to me, and where I was born and raised, where I can pull that out every now and then. Don't get it twisted on the first impression situation.
And then, you know, coming up with Poor Rich, your guys' relationship and knowing each other?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to bump around a lot, moving out to Ajax. You know, when you're young, man, hey, in Toronto, moving around and doing things is what it's about. Because once you get older, it's crazy. This world is not big enough for nobody, and don't ever get it twisted that it is. And I had a friend of mine that moved to Toronto, and he lived in the West End, and me and him were parring together, and so on and so forth. He moved actually out to Ajax, and I kicked it with him, and through travels to say, I came across Rich one time. One of my buddies ran into him. Rich was freestyling out back of a school, and they were just walking by, and then they just started rapping and battling then. And that was like when we were real young. Like none of us were even really into battling yet. It was just like new to everybody. But some of us were kind of like really into it amongst like our group. We just there was no mercy living like hanging in our group. There was no friendliness. Everybody was on everybody in any chance. You got caught slipping, bro, you're getting nailed, right? And that's how it was. And so what happened was my buddy met Rich, and they all started rapping, and Rich ended up throwing a party one time. So we went by and checked his crib out, and Rich is a real dope dude, and everybody was rapping and stuff, and it was just like it's real like crazy how everything works out in the end. Because if I had never met Rich back in the day, and then to move out here, Rich would probably have never hit me up to ask me to join KOTD, and now here I am now in KOTD doing interviews with the archivist, the man, bro. So it's like, you know, this shit is surreal to me. I even now, like, when I come out here, some people hit you up and they're just like, oh, what's going on, man? And thanks for coming out. And I'm like, no problem. And they're like, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, oh, you know, like back before it was like, you know, I got to go back to work or whatever. And they're like, you work? And it's like, of course, like, you know, like I'm a regular guy just like everybody else, you know, if anything.
And share some of your battle hits, like different people you've battled, and some like that obviously has gone down in history. Yeah, man. My last battle pretty much is one of the biggest battles that I've done, and shout outs to Shawty Horror for even like picking someone like me to battle. It was a fucking honor, like to go out to World Domination, a big event like that. It's like unbelievable, like just it's fucking overwhelming to say. And then you've done Blackout as well.
Yeah, I did Blackout. It was like that was probably one of the bigger ones for sure. Like as much as World Domination was amazing, like Blackout was like crazy. Like when you're there, like watching Sketch battle even, and like, you know, back when I battled Young Stitch and then Sketch took the chain and then go back, like at Blackout, sitting there watching like just it like come through, like being the guys chasing and then, you know, coming back again and being a part of that, like it was unreal. You got good dudes like, you know, Raekwon in the building and shit. It's like, holy fuck, right? Like, what is going on?
Ice H2O.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, you got Rich Kid, you had like Camo, like Genghis Khan, straight up. Like that shit is, especially coming from Toronto, to me, like that means a big thing. That's just like you guys having out here, like, you know, Mad Child or like, you know, Mocha, like all those guys coming through to just to come see you perform is a fucking unbelievable honor in all ways, right? And ever since even getting into KOTD, it's been nothing but a contribution to my life in all realness, as in like what else would I be doing with my time? The way I look at it now is like, I appreciate this. And that's why I do battles like this with Pigsty, is because of the fact that I was there. I was trying to come up in this scene that I seen was going down. It wasn't like, you know, and back then, even though it wasn't that big, the way I viewed it to be big. I viewed it as everything, you know? And so that's where we're at now.
And what did it take you to perfect your craft, the way you do your wordplay and whatnot? Seeing you just in the battle, I was one of the judges, and it was just really incredible, man. You blew me away. Like, you versus Pigsty, like, Pigsty is like our best in Vancouver, you know what I mean? And
yeah, sure.
So share some of your bouts with that.
Man, I really appreciate that. Honestly, I pride myself on writing like certain things sometimes, like the way I write things or how I write it. It's like that's half the reason why I do it, is because I see that I actually do bring something a little bit different. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like changing the game by any means at all, but I know that I am capable of doing pretty intricate shit at times, making it so edible that people are like that's what me and Sketch talk about sometimes. He's like, you say nothing but say so much at the same time, you know what I mean? And trying and you don't have to like try it, you know? Like, and that's what he's like, you're meant to, you know, fuck with this shit. And I believe that with Pigsty, he's one of the craziest dudes like out here for sure. That's why I gave him the opportunity, no doubt. His writing is like really good, really good. And I believe that anybody with writing, if you practice, man, and stay practicing and try things new and just be open-minded too. Don't stick to things that you always do, and it'll perfect your craft. Like, accept everything.
And your best hip hop memory you've been part of or contributed to?
Definitely, I think the best thing that I've been a part of is with Bishop. Bishop hooked me up. I went out to Toronto and he gave me backstage passes. I flew in on a Wednesday, and Thursday he's like, yo, pack your bag and come through. And I'm like, all right, no problem, right? Like, what's the deal? And he's like, I'm gonna scoop you. So I'm like, all right, let's roll. Picks me up, takes me out to Barrie, and he hands me a pass. I'm like, what's this for? He's like, yo, I'm opening for Snoop Dogg. He's like, here's a backstage pass. He's like, I want you to just come on stage with me, you know, hype me up and shit. I'm like, for real? Like, this is dope. So I get there, and like, I calling up some of my boys. I'm like, yo, you guys need to come out. You need to get the fuck here. Like, this shit is dope. Like, I don't give a fuck if I ain't performing, just to be backstage with Snoop and like just to be that close to like a legend like that. And like, plus there's other people there, right? Like, when we were there, like, there's lots of other people coming through. Like, I seen a lot of the CP guys, like Belly and like all those dudes. The Weeknd was there with those guys at the time, like all backstage, right? And that was the first time I ever seen like the Airplane Boys and stuff like that. Man, it was unbelievable. And I'm standing there with Snoop, and I just like, everybody's in back smoking blunts, and I'm just like 15 feet away from Snoop at the back while he's performing, and there's people fucking killing the place. Everyone's burning weed. It was just like one of the best times for sure.
And you got anything to say to America?
America, what I got to say to America is keep your eyes open for me. Check my battles out if you can, and hopefully get my passport straight soon. I'm coming out there to the West Coast, Fresh Coast, definitely. Shout outs to a couple people that I know out there, like Fredo, big it up, James the Great, all those guys out in Cali, straight up. Bye for now.
And you got any shouts?
Shout outs to King of the Dot, man. Straight up shout outs to Archivist for this interview. I fucking appreciate this more than anything. Shout outs to Emotions for this battle tonight. Pigsty, because he fucking killed it. And anybody that supports me and anything that I'm a part of. And the people that are around me, straight up and down.
And shouts to Emotions for putting you down out here. And this is the Archivist, and you already know the name, y'all.
For sure. Bye for now.